The next important thing for setting up your world is storage, and it might be a little bit early, but getting shulker boxes is a huge thing. So you can load all of items that you get from like your witch farm and all the other farms that are just going to be containing a large amount of things. So I'm at the end city. It has been rated heavily, but that is okay because there's a lot of stuff there. Let me show you a little bit of the things that I've done for some quality of life and some work I did on my witch farm. And then the rest of this is all about building a shulker farm out over the void. So hang in there. This is going to be an exciting, fun one. Anyways, yeah, just a real simple thing here. I'm going to make a few additional changes here. We're not going to talk about that. So one of the quality things that I've done here is that this used to be the bubble column that would take you all the way up. But it's also used for the shifting floor down here. So that doesn't really work well because you'll stop in the middle and get a little paranoid. So instead of doing that, I do have this bubble elevator that takes you all the way up. So I'll just take us here. So if you saw my last video, the one thing that I talked about was these AB filters, which are really cool. And I kind of talked about how this is not as useful because these filters only hold up to 41. Well, that is true, but with this, I do have a piece set up for the autocrafters. So I got it where this is a double speed hopper. So basically these items very quickly down into the system and then fill it up very quickly. So I have these two droppers here that are pointing to the left, and they are going to, right now just going into this chest, but these all need to go into a shulker loader. So I can just have shulker boxes full of redstone. Over here, it's a little bit harder to see, but inside of this chest is being produced the glowstone blocks. So I'm going to have a fair number of glowstone there and be able to operate off of that. So the real magic though is this piece, and the design from Big Booty is something that will take the signal here, so you can see that as the items are coming through, it just goes in a cycle. And so this power goes on and off, and it changes this, or it picks up this observer that powers the dropper and the crafter at the same time. Meanwhile, detected on the right and on the left. So over here it just goes around, does a circle, hits smooth stone. So it continues to cycle through this a couple times. So there's no risk of these items getting auto-crafted more, like ingots into nuggets. So it's a very simple way of just looping around to do that. So I really like that, and pretty cool design. The rest of this is being pulled through just like normal. Yeah, fairly simple, standard stuff here, but a nice quality of life to pull this stuff together. All right, so I have AFK'd overnight with the witch farm. I added in the chests for all of my items. I got the crafters that are crafting glowstone and the glowstone blocks with all that. And then I've got this shulker loader here that is going on. So let me talk through this real quick. So just to cover this, we've got our shulker that gets dispensed from a dispenser here on the side, and that will produce a signal from the comparator, and we power the block on that slab for it to detect it. And the observer will detect it when it changes to 15, when both sides are completely full, so full power, and then that lights up the copper bulb, and the comparator will trigger the piston. The piston pushes straight through this powdered snow and pushes the shulker box into the block, and that will break it. And it will not bounce around, or it'll stay in that powdered snow, and that'll keep the shulker from being lost. So I keep all of those sweet drops. So yeah, that's a really sweet design. So with that, just with it running regularly like this, it's going to be producing pretty good. And with a looting 3 sword, you get even more drops, which is just doing a great job. Alright, so this is the worst part about making a shulker farm, is getting these shulkers. So there's one shulker up here that I should be able to get fairly easily, as long as I hit the right one. This guy is annoyingly too low to get him in a minecart, which is not my favorite way to get him in. So I'm going to roll the dice and force him to do that. Oh, man. All right. Quick look-see. Okay. All right. Black Ops. Minecart at the ready, and ooh, boy, that was close. So what I'm going to do is get rid of this rail, run away. Okay, so torch and then temporary block. Alright, so I'm standing out in the middle of the void, and I'm doing things a little bit different than what I did last time, because if you haven't noticed, shulkers are a pain. So in order to deal with that, the way that I'm going to do it this time is I am going to take this platform. I'm going to set up just the chamber for the starting seed. So everything that's needed to put this shulker in is going to be over there. Then I'm going to cover it with buttons, because there is no way that they can go anywhere but where I want them to go. Once that's done, then I can put the rest of the template around and put the modules in and have one less thing to do for the rest of it. But for safety, I am going to put that there. So I know it looks weird, but I am not taking any chances. The last time I did this, I had so many problems with the shulkers that I am going to just spam proof every single space, underneath, above. If I missed one, I'm going to be crying, especially when I think I only have one shot at this. So it's good to know if this is going to work on the first try or not. So I think I've spawn proofed as much as I can, and I'm going to force him where I want him. So all I have to do is face the direction, and yeah, just can't take your eyes off of them for a second. All right, I'm gonna fly over and I'm gonna see if I'm going to rage quit. So the shulker should have made it all the way up here. I think I shot him off into the void. I love shulker farms and I hate them. Okay, time to nail this guy. Goodbye. Ooh, I nailed it right on the track too. Alright, so to my amazement, after being extremely depressed and coming back, I now see the shulker right where he's supposed to be. So I don't know exactly what happened, but it seems like maybe like FrooCraft might have done something weird from a distance. I don't know. But I am not going to complain, because I am just so happy to see that guy in the chamber. So that is perfect. Okay, so I really did not want to use Schematica, but honestly, I was having a hard time getting things set up. So rather than fight it, I'm just going to do this. So what's kind of cool here is that you can change the slice. So you can just get it in half, which is basically the best way that I can align this with mine. And if you look at this, there's going to be snow golems set up in here. So there's going to be one module, one snow golem, 2, 3, and 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in 4 modules. So it's not going to be quite as large as this, but I can split it up so that way I have it half and half, and the pattern's pretty much the same there. And there's roughly, I think, about 300 shells an hour based on each module. So if I have 4, that's going to put me at somewhere around 1,000 to 1,200, which is going to work out good enough, but not go too crazy. You go into Lightmatica under the render layers, you can change the access here, and then I just set it to set here. Let's say, it's at a different setting, but you can just have it placed at your location on that X, and then you get a good slice of this. When you need to get inside of the schematic to see the guts, then this is perfect. So with that, I just did a little bit of finagling to adjust the height. And so everything that I put in manual is going to be the end stone, but I'll lava cast this and this will be so much better. So in this, once you are happy with your schematic, then the next smart thing to do is to go into the placements, and under configure, what I want to do is lock it, which there is a lock right there. Once it's locked, that means that you can't accidentally move it, which is a huge pain in the butt. I'm going to save the placement of this as well, just so that way I have it in a good place. All right, so I have put together the basic outline. I've got my column. I'm ready to start getting the template together. So let's go back. Let's go ahead and look at the schematic and turn this guy on. So everywhere, I think, everywhere where it is, everywhere that's not magenta is where the cobblestone is. So that's where this outline is going to go. And so I just need to go through, finish this up for all of it, and then I can start putting in the lava casting here. All right, so I'm putting in the scaffolding as part of this system, and it's this is pretty neat. So the shulkers, when you first load the system, you only need 2 to get it started. So you just need a place for the shulkers to work their way up into the chamber up there. So the shulkers will go up the scaffolding bits here. There's 3, and that, like we saw before, 1 in the middle, and then these. But that allows a space for the shulkers to work their way up and then eventually into the chamber where I want them. So that'll get them all connected and in there. So you basically do this from the start of the chambers here, and so that way they start from where they're going to be aggroed, and they're going to work their way up to the top, and that will allow them to fill all of these chambers. Now you can see I've got the template, so I'm going to punt a little bit. It's not the way I would have wanted it, but for time, I'm going to do the lava casting, and this is going to put cobblestone all the way at the bottom, and I'm just going to have to live with it. And it's fine. Everything's fine. All right, so I've been making a lot of good progress, and you can see the template, and you can see how the lava is coming together. And I'm going to show you real quick how this works, because I didn't show it this last time, but this is really pretty simple. And the only trick is to have patience and give it more time than you actually need. So out of necessity, do like double checking because you just don't know. So you can see I just started these templates for the lava that's going to turn into cobblestone. And then this other stuff has been running for a little bit. So just to make sure that there's no funky things like it's spreading in weird ways. A couple times that's happened. But yeah, just a good check there. So that's looking good. And basically I'm just going to start running down each of these columns, adding more lava, and then I'll just come back to the next one as I go. All right, with that in mind, basically I have 3 buckets in hand because you're going to work with 3 at a time. So basically we're going to take this lava. Let's switch sides. So I don't want to grab the running side. You want to grab the side that is the solid. So we're going to start from the middle. This is just how I've been doing that. And then I'm ready to put the lava bucket on. So grab the middle one here. And then you can see it goes normal. Oops. It's a little late, but that's fine. As long as it's caught enough like this. So I like coming down just about 3 or 4 just to make sure, because sometimes there can be an empty one like that. Perfect. So I just get that replaced here. And not there. All right. There we go. So yeah, then you just kind of take this, make sure that each of these things gets full, like so. And then just fill up the last bit, just to make sure everything is set up all the way. And that's really all that you need to do. And basically come back, fill in the next set of these. And you just don't want it to be next to the ones that you're going to do next. So I'm just going to leave this space and I'll just work from here. So I'll get my buckets ready, so I'm prepped with more. Have the water buckets in that handy, and then I can come to the next 3. It looks like I missed these, so that needs to be added there. All right, so just continuing the pattern, and then there. I'll go ahead and get this put in there. It takes a couple minutes for this to run all the way down, so that is why I'm trying to be very careful. All right. So go down a few just to make sure that everything's good. So that was fine. So just taking that, come back up, get these other pieces filled in. Do a little spot check, make sure this stuff is looking good. And all along here, this is where the shulkers are going to be able to fill in those spaces, which is awesome. All right, just fill this in, and there we go. Take care of that one, and then ready for the next set. And just to be paranoid, all right, so this isn't ready yet because I've got one pillar that's completed and these last 3 that are not. So I'll just come back and do these that have been done, just taking my time because there's only 3 ready. But just take it one at a time and just make sure until it is completely done. All right, so I've made a lot of progress here to get this set up. And so unfortunately, the way this is lined up, and because I'm not trying to do a full, from build height all the way down, this is going all the way to 0 where it stops. But I need to be able to get underneath here to actually work on it. So one little trick, if you don't know it, go into controls and you can change your sneak from hold to toggle. So those people that are afraid of falling, you can do this little trick, and the odds are you're not going to fall. I say that, but I have fallen through these holes twice now. And check out the bloopers if you want to see that. It will be funny. So all I have to do now is get this cleaned up and just clear out all this red. And then I can start putting in hoppers, and I need to get some slabs to get this all contained, and then I can start working on the mechanism that activates the shulkers in the middle. All right, so this is where it's all been leading up to, and this is the moment of truth. As you see, I have finished up the walls. I put water all around it. Have trap doors to force the shulkers into the little containment unit. So everything is set up. So all I have to do now is put the first shulker in. So as you can see, I have a shulker sitting over there, and I'm going to send him on his way. And he's going to make that nice little trip all the way over here. And basically, it's all lined up to go straight into that cactus. And he has nowhere else to go but inside of the farm. So this should be relatively easy. All right, so the core things that we need to really get this stuff working. So to make this work, what I'm going to do is hit it with some health potion just to make sure that it is at full health going into the farm. And that way the mechanics of the farm works. So once I get this started, it will go most of the way. So put a nice little rail there. Okay. It seems like that should have healed it. It looks like he might be stuck there, but okay. So that'll be fine. I'll just put this in, and yeah, it's going to be a race to follow him. So here he comes. Okay. So hopefully, yeah, here we go. So this furnace is just a nice way so I don't have to power anything. And I missed it again. Oh, that's a shame. Waiting for it to drop. All right, so terrible timing, but that should do it for the shulker. Let's go ahead and just take a quick peep up here. Yeah, and I can already hear that they're operating over there. So I think that's good. I'm going to take a peek though, just to make sure. But I'm going to turn the farm on, make sure it's running. Which, let's see here. This is activated, so I'll just get this turned on. And so this will just operate a nice little clock back there, and we'll see this activate the rails and everything. And that will get the one shulker that we've already put into the thing to get it working. So I'm going to do a little hunt. This might not be easy, but it will be fun. Ooh, I could probably try this. Let's see. All right. So hopefully hitboxes will also help spot them inside it. All right, cool. All right, and that is the farm. It is completed, and it is producing pretty well. Overall, I have collected a ton of shells, so I'll be able to sell some shells to people on the SMP, and that's going to be really sweet as far as an operation goes. So I can continue to build more farms and have more fun. So this is so I got myself a nice little AFK spot just so I can hang out while I am doing stuff. It's a little bit dangerous. There's a shulker that ended up planting himself up here. I thought I was on the lower slab rather than whatever happened there, so I'm just going to consider that a little extra bonus just in case I need to, get another shulker. But at this point, everything's really good. Just to show the rates, so this has been running for probably about 45 minutes or so, and it's just slowly getting added on. So that's really doing pretty good. Very simple process. Like I mentioned, this was based off of FrooCraft's design, so he really likes this shulker loader, which is a little bit different than the other one I used. But this is also a lossless one because it's got a little bit extra space here, so that way it will all end up in the shulker loader. And just for fun, just to show how this farm works, so we've got this little piston that is going to push this block back and forth. It adjusts the scaffolding here, and then you can see all the shulkers up in here. And the snow golem is going to attack the other shulker here whenever the trapdoor goes down. And so we have about 20 blocks for that aggression to be passed along. So actually 17 blocks. So that's why we have a section here. And so each of these now have a shulker all set up in there, and that is operating that pretty well. So that works out pretty good for the farm there. It's a ton of hoppers. I really don't like it, but you don't really have much of a choice either. It keeps everything self-contained, and this is spawn proof. So I just dropped this area down low enough so it's more than 8 blocks. I could really add a place to get live shulkers instead of dealing with this the same way that we have been. So that could be a really nice bonus to have a way to collect live shulkers. I don't know. That may not be needed. But I'm already looking at other designs because after doing this a second time, I think that there's got to be a better way. If I didn't mention, this is producing with the 4 cells. It's producing a little bit over 1,000 shells an hour. And so, here's one chest full of shells. This one is going to be filled up pretty soon. And so I can be able to do a lot of things there. Over here is the shopping district. And it's amazing as far as a building goes. And over here had an opportunity for a shop. It is really just throwing some different things up for now. It's not the best shop. I'm not really proud of it. So I'm just at this point just trying to get some resources out to sell. But this just needs to be cleaned up and a little bit better. But I got rockets from my mob farms that I'm selling. So pretty good stuff going on there. Got some redstone blocks. For the glowstone, I'm just saying fair trade, and nobody has taken me up on that. Like, I seriously will take trade for fairly common things. It doesn't have to be fancy, but of course that puts me in a place here where I've got these shells, and so I'm just putting in 1 diamond per shell. It's based off of a price index that I've seen. And then 2 diamonds per box. This stuff, got a sale. These things are bulky, but I'll put them together for you, and you get a free chest with that, and you can get some sweet deals there. And for anybody on our SMP, like if you come up to me and say, "Hey, go DL," you get a free shulker box for that. Okay, that is the deal. I will give you a free shulker box just for saying go DL. All right. That means that you watch my video and you're telling me, that this is going really well. Hopefully that's a fun little thing. All right. So with that, there is so much more fun stuff to do. There's so many other good things to get started with on, starting up. But this is all the great stuff. So I think I'm going to hit the in cities, do a little bit of traveling around, and wow, Hamburger's shop is really looking good. And do some different things like that for next week, and it'll be a really good time of getting out and doing stuff. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So until next time, bye. YOLO. Okay, temporary block. There he goes. Oh. And as you can see, I died over there. And this time I hope to get a good shot of all of this happening and be up close. So it's the little engine that could. It's going to just follow along and scoot it up. Come on. That's probably going to hit me. And just for fun, oh, looks like I made another mistake. Ooh, 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 ooh. No, no, no. Oh, no. Yeah, not good. This could be very bad.